Okay guys, welcome to painting part. I'm gonna be showing you how to do a simple technique like dry brushing and some highlighting. It's gonna be really quick, and we're gonna be using just a simple brushes that you can find in any craft shop and online, and some basic colors like these. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some white first. As a first layer of the mushrooms. If you use white as a primer, it will make things pop. All the colors that you're going to be painting over will pop much more. Okay, so it's usually a good thing to start painting the parts that are difficult to get to. So the bottom of it, just doing like a really rough paint over. It doesn't matter, I'm not worrying about being too accurate about it. Just painting it over. Yeah. The only thing maybe to do is to put the color evenly on it, of course. Like that. Really quickly. As I said, this is something that you can do in one afternoon, from sculpting and baking and painting. It's really easy, and it will give you this, competition feeling, which is really important. Okay, and the other one. So as you see, I'm just going through them really quickly. It's the first layer, it's gonna be covered, and yeah, all you have to worry about is putting color evenly, paint, I mean. Okay, so now that I painted this, I'm gonna leave it dry, and in the meantime we're gonna start working on a tree trunk, and I'm gonna be using brown for that. Okay, here's the brown, but you can always mix brown with green and green, yellow and blue, or even you can add some red to it. What I wanted to show you now is that the easiest thing you can do is to have, and of course for the good effect, is to have 3 shades of each color. So as you can see, we have some brown here, That's gonna be our middle tone. And we're gonna add some black. We need just a little bit of black. Okay, so now we're gonna create the darkest shade. This is gonna be our... Okay, we don't want to make it too dark, so we're gonna add more brown. This is gonna be our first layer for the tree trunk. Okay, that's enough. Dark enough. Okay, and now just make sure to cover all the cracks, so the gray is not showing. I'm just gonna go here around as well, around the moss, very thoroughly. It's even good to put it to paint it with the brown a little bit in between, so it's quite realistic. Paint all of it really quickly. Again, you don't have to worry about it's a first layer. Just go through it quickly. This is gonna be our shade, the darkest tone. And after that, we're gonna add highlights, basically 2 different highlights. So we're gonna do the highlight a little bit hard with the base color, which is our brown here. It's gonna be our base, and then on top of that, we're gonna make the lightest highlight with a little bit of white. Just making sure to cover everything nicely. And now that the mushrooms are dry, I can grab there. And you will see how all these details will pop up with highlighting. Right now it looks really, you know, equal. Everything looks quite the same, of course. Like that, and we have some left in between to paint, like that. Okay, we are good, I think. What we're gonna do now is to dry it out a little bit with the fan. It seems like we missed a little bit here. Make sure to mix enough color every time. It's better to have a little bit more of excess than to not have it enough. I already have experience of how much paint I need, so it was just enough. Okay, and let's dry it a little bit more. Okay, that seems fine. Okay, I'm now thinking if I should actually have another layer, and I think I will mix a little bit more. But this time when I'm going with the next layer, with additional layer of shade, I'm gonna add a little bit of water, just so that it's easier to cover the entire surface, easier and quicker. Okay, just gonna go through it quickly. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna dry it a little bit more. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you technique. It's called dry brushing. So for that, we're gonna use the middle shade of the normal brown, and it's really simple. All you have to do is take some color, like fill up your brush. And then all you have to do is just dry your brush until there is almost no colors. Okay, so for the first highlight, we're gonna leave it a little bit more, but you will see for the final highlight there's gonna be almost no color. So just as you can see, almost no, it's leaving no marks. Okay, and then just go vertically. So the point of this dry brushing is to do the highlights, right? So you have to do it always vertically compared to your textures. So these textures on tree trunk are made horizontally, so you have to do it vertically. The whole point is not to fill up the holes. As you can see, it's already bringing up the details. So again, dry it. Look at that, beautiful. Such a easy technique. But rewarding. Okay, just going through it. A little bit more. Dry it. It's really quick and easy. This side, just going horizontally like that. I mean vertically. A little bit more, dry. So just going opposite from your textures. Okay, let's finish here. And make sure that your brush is of course dry. Don't use a brush that you just washed or something or used. So have one ready for just this technique. Or dry your brush that you've been using. Acrylics are quite, versatile paint because they dry really fast. So okay, so it already looks quite nice, the textures and everything. And now we're gonna add some white to it. Okay, we already have white here, so white to the base color. Well, now you can just decide if you want to have a little bit lighter highlights or darker, like more realistic. But for the sake of the tutorial, I'm gonna just like make it really light. Okay, so I'm trying to really dry my brush for this. Okay. And for this final highlight, don't overdo it. That's really important. So here and there, just the stuff that you want to show a little bit more. Okay, maybe here, where is the like an eye kind of texture, I like to call eye. So just a little bit here and there, like that. Maybe these cracks here. like that. Go around also here, maybe would be nice. You can already see how it's nicely showing. You don't need a lot of paint for this final highlight, just a little bit. You make it much lighter and just go around it a little bit, just like that. You can leave it here because there is no, so we are just trying to simulate light coming from the top, so you don't have to highlight these bottom parts. I mean you can if you want. Okay, and you already have a nice effect, nice kind of wood. Okay, what we're gonna do next is the moss. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this brush dry. And mix some green. So again, this is gonna be our base green. Oh my god, too much green. These tubes. This is gonna be our base, so we need to make it darker. To make a shade. Okay, a little bit black. You can add blue as well if you want. Okay, I think I want it like really dark like that. Okay. Now we're just gonna go through the areas where the moss is. And it's fine if some brown stays where it is. It's even better if it's mixed, you know, like that, because the moss has all sorts of colors around. So basically just puff it, kind of, you know. It's okay also if you leave some, you know, green around on the tree trunk. It doesn't have to be really accurate. It's actually better if you have some green around. So fill up these holes thoroughly. You don't want any gray to pop up from the holes, because that would then simulate the highlight, and you don't want highlight in recesses.